As I said, my name is Nigel. The title of this talk is Creating Interactive Audio Experiences with Node.js for the IBM Research Dataspace. The first bit of every presentation, you kind of have to justify your existence. Why should I be up here talking to you? So this talk is about interactive audio. I went to school for sound, and I've published research about audio and human hearing, and then I created a custom application for the IBM Research Dataspace, which we'll get into later. This is IBM Research, kind of a small photo. Sorry about that. That's half the building, so it's really cool if you have some time to check it out. It's this big semicircular building, and down all the aisles is where all of the researchers are. And I think there's 41 aisles, and like, oh, in this aisle they're researching quantum, in this aisle they're doing AI, this aisle they're doing. The location is in Yorktown Heights, New York. So yeah, IBM Research is kind of all over the place. Should have been specific. Thank you for that question. So the dataspace. I'm talking about the dataspace. What is the dataspace? So if you could just hold in your mind a picture of this room that you could be in that would surround you with all of the data that you could possibly throw at it. And then I'm going to show you a picture. How close was that? So in the room, it's a circular layout for those of you having a hard time seeing the image. And there are 14 robot arms that are arranged in the circle with 4K screens on them. The arms are fully automatable, movable, so they come down in different configurations. And there's a table in the middle that significant amount of engineering went to make it. The table itself isn't touch, but with the sensors and everything that they have around the room, they're able to make it appear as though it is. And so there's this incredible ability to move video around the room in kind of whatever way you need. So this is one use case that they had. Again, I apologize for the small photos, but what you see on the screens, so I'm kind of circling the three screens that are down, are stars in the galaxy, and what's on the table is a star map. And so with this particular application, you touch on the table where you want to see, and then it moves you to that space on the screens. So the room has immense video capability, and there are subject matter experts there who are able to create any of the software that they need to move these images around to create the touch experience with the table. But as usual in organizations, there's no designated audio people. It's kind of a niche thing to be into. And my engagement there was supposed to be for 12 weeks. And so I needed to, whatever I was going to build had to be built quickly. So this is another application that they made for the touch table where there's Google Maps running on the table. You touch the location that you want to see, and all of the screens around you do Street View. So the problem is that we lack the ability to move sound in the same way that they can do with video and images. What if we could do that? But it needs to integrate with the current system. As you can imagine, with 14 robot arms that are there, the table, cameras, sensors, there's a lot going on. And it has to be low latency. And one of the reasons for that is, as you can see in this demo, one of the things that they had set up is that they have MRI scans, and you walk up to the screen and you grab it and you push it, and you can go through all the different layers of the scans. And could you imagine if you're doing that and it's supposed to map to sound, and the sound comes like way after you've already, it's kind of like that firecracker effect where you see it and then you hear it. That doesn't really work for somewhere like that. The idea is that there's a sense of space with the data, a sense of presence. So we need an easy-to-use interface, no domain knowledge necessary, and something that's highly portable. So for the solution that I came up with, step 0 was to learn all the things, because I didn't really have a good handle on all of this stuff at first. They said, this is what we need. And I said, I know exactly how you build it. This is exactly what you use. So like, we need you to do it. Like, well, I mean, I know how to do it in theory. I know how to tell somebody, but they're like, no, you don't get to do the theoretical research. You have to implement. So I spent a lot of time figuring out what the tech stack was. We use Dante for the audio, for any of you who are familiar with that spec, because it does low latency transport of audio over IP. I built the audio application in Max, and then I created the server in Node.js. I know this is a web meetup. They said I could do anything to do with like web or JS. I'm leaning on the JS heavily here, so sorry. Well, I'll show you the videos later. We don't have a lot of time. This is lightning talk. So let's have a look. I thought it was kind of cool, this video that they have where it shows like the screens like descending from the ceiling, really highly dramatized. So with anything, there's a bunch of developers in the room. You are going to see spaghetti code, spaghetti visual code. So here we go. It works. In the show. So this is what this is what Max looks like. I apologize. But so what happens is I get a UDP request in this way. I parse it over here in this section. And then, sorry. And then the magic is happening inside of here. It gets worse because you can click on any of these, and inside of these I have like, I know what everything does, I promise. And I also promise you spaghetti. So this is what it looks like. We don't have enough time to go into it, but the experience, right? So it's running. The cool thing about this new version of Max is that it has Node integrated in it. So I can distribute a single application, and I can show you. So I can build this here, build it as an app on the desktop. Go, please. All right. It's going, going, going. We saw that icon appear there. Probably should have hit that button sooner. Okay. Yeah, I left a present for them as well. So the app icon is actually my face. But this is a completely standalone application, right? Like you don't need any of the software that I made to create it. So you just open the app. And when it opens, you'll see the same spaghetti because I'm not a visual person like many of you in here are, who could have created a lovely interface for this, I'm sure. But when it loads, yeah, so I'm going to pass in post requests because that was what they wanted. It's taking a lot longer here. Okay, there it is. This shows up here. I hit this button, script start, and it's going. And I can look at my console. I can see that the server's listening on this UDP port and running on that TCP port. And then I send a request here to play an audio file. And then it comes in. So each of these bars represents a speaker here. It's probably hard to see, but each of these bars, it won't let me zoom in, sorry, is one of the speakers in the room. And then for the positionality, if we move this, if I grab the dot, the dot represents the sound. If we move it around, then it also moves around the room. And you can do this. So they have like devices that'll latch onto that parameter. So you can twist a physical object, or you can spam my server with requests. And then you can also send requests to stop the audio, and then it does a fade out and then kills it. But yeah, that's it running. So I don't know if we have time for any like quick question. Nope, I ran over. Sorry, y'all. Hopefully you all got something out of that. Thank you.